Basketball is a game that we all know and enjoy, since it can make us feel good when we watch a good contest. Naturally, the emotions run high during the NBA seasons. The teams and their followers are experiencing tension, excitement, and a yearning for a show. There has never been a boring NBA game. Each one gives peak emotional intensity, so stick with us to the end as we give you 15 of the top comebacks in the history of the NBA. Celtics versus Rockets. The Celtics and the Rockets got into a heated altercation with each other. Kyrie Irving was able to put up 26 points, but who knows how the game would have finished if the Houston captain James Harden hadn't committed a foul when he was attacking the basket. It ended up being a thrilling match, 99-98. Tracy McGrady of the Rockets scores 13 points in 33 seconds against the Spurs. In 2004, NBA fans saw a once-in-a-lifetime performance. The Houston Rockets were behind 76-68 with 42 seconds remaining and needed assistance. Tracy McGrady intervened by scoring 13 points in 33 seconds. If McGrady had kept up that pace for the whole game, he'd have scored 1,069 points. The 27-point comeback in 2012 between the Clippers and the Grizzlies. The Clippers are no strangers to comeback victories, but their postseason triumph over Memphis was spectacular. The Clippers were down by 20 after one quarter. In the third, the Grizzlies increased their advantage to 27. The Grizzlies led 84-57 with 2 minutes left in the third. The Clippers cut the advantage to 21 entering the fourth, but they weren't done. They shot 76.5%, including 5 of 6 three-pointers, and finished on a 28-3 run to equal the NBA record for greatest fourth-quarter deficit overcome. Nick Young made it close with 2 three-pointers with 1:47 left, and the Grizzlies led 96-93 with 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. Blake Griffin's free throws pulled them within a point. Reggie Evans' layup with 50.3 seconds left put the Clippers up 97-96. Chris Paul sank both free throws with 23.7 seconds remaining to give the Clippers a 99-98 lead. They ended up beating the Grizzlies, stealing the victory and winning the series in 7 games. Derrick Rose scores 50. After every high, a fall. Rose's performance was dramatic. In the last minutes of a 2012 playoff game, Rose tore his ACL and missed the rest of the year. A month after returning, Rose tore his right meniscus and missed the following season. Rose was exchanged often due to injuries. He left clubs for long durations, considering retirement. After playing less and adapting his game, Rose ended up joining the Minnesota Timberwolves. On Halloween night 2018, Derrick Rose scored 50 points against the Utah Jazz. This game proves you can never count someone out. The 26-point comeback by the Cavs versus the Pacers in 2017. The Pacers trailed 2-0 and needed a win. In Game 3, they led 74-49 at halftime, scoring a club record. LeBron James and the Cavaliers disagreed. James's triple-double and 28 second-half points led the Cavaliers to a triumphant comeback. James's three-pointer with 2:50 left made it 111-107. Channing Frye's three-pointer with less than a minute left dashed the Pacers' aspirations. They outscored Indiana 70-40 in the second half to lead 3-0 before sweeping them 4-0. Dallas versus Toronto in 2019. 2 minutes before the conclusion of the third quarter, the score was 55-85 in favor of the Mavericks. The Raptors began pressing, and thanks to Kyle Lowry's dunk in a 16-point game, optimism was restored. The siren blew after 14 minutes, and the scoreboard read 110-107 in favor of the Canadiens. This occurred in 2019, and it was the first time in the previous 10 years that any NBA club managed to play back. The Cleveland Cavaliers' 3-1 comeback versus the 73-win Warriors. 2016 wasn't bad for Cleveland sports. The Cavaliers lost the 2015 NBA Finals against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. The Cavs were then down 3-1 in the 2016 NBA Finals against a Warriors club that won 73 games in the regular season. Needless to say, it looked bad for the Cavs. Facing the 73-win Warriors, the best team of all time, the Cavs had a big climb, but the game isn't done until the final buzzer. In Game 5, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving each scored 41 points as the Cavs triumphed 112-97. Game 6 was much of the same, as King James scored 41 points in Cleveland, leading his club to a 115-101 win. The Cavs' comeback was characterized by Game 7. Both sides had the same number of points, the game going back and forth like a seesaw. With 1 minute 50 seconds left and the game knotted at 89, LeBron prevented Andre Iguodala's slam attempt by smacking the ball off the backboard. Kyrie Irving sank a three-pointer over Curry with 53 seconds left to put the Cavs ahead. After LeBron made one of two free throws and the Warriors missed two three-pointers, the Cavaliers prevailed and Cleveland became a city of champions once again. They overcame a 3-1 NBA Finals deficit for the first time in NBA history. Jazz at Heat 2010. Paul Millsap shot 2 for 20 from three-point range that night. The Jazz come back in the last minute to force overtime, driven by Paul Millsap's 11 points in 28 seconds. The Jazz prevailed in overtime, and it was a brilliant performance. Clippers vs. Warriors, 31-point comeback 2019. The Clippers had one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history in 2019. Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry were on the Warriors side. Two-time reigning champs. They'd already beaten the Clippers. The third quarter lead, 94-63. The Warriors were up big until they weren't. The Clippers roared back. Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell helped the Clippers score 85 second-half points and beat the Warriors 72-37 in 19.5 minutes to win. Harrell scored 25 points and grabbed 10 rebounds on 9 for 9 shooting. Williams scored 36 points in the 31-point triumphant comeback. Indiana Pacers vs. the New York Knicks. Reggie Miller was Madison Square Garden's top star on May 7, 1995. Miller's Indiana Pacers played the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Miller turned the Pacers around with 8.9 seconds remaining. In the waning seconds, he scored 8 points to help the Pacers win 107-105. Miller's three-pointer made it 105-102. Miller swiped the ball while the Knicks were inbounding and made another three-pointer. Incredible. Miller was fouled after the Knicks missed 2 free throws. Miller's free throws put the Pacers ahead by 2. The LA Lakers vs. the Seattle SuperSonics, a 29-point comeback, 1989. The Los Angeles Lakers won the second largest comeback in 1989 against the Seattle SuperSonics. Seattle led the Lakers by 29 points after 14 minutes, but was ousted from the playoffs. The Lakers' revival was unprecedented. Magic Johnson said, "Let's trim it to 15," after the SuperSonics limited the Lakers to 4 for 20 shooting in the first quarter and led 43-14. LA ran 16-0 to trim the advantage to 11 before halftime. With 6:14 left in the fourth quarter, the Lakers led 18-6. James Worthy's three-pointer, AC Green's baseline jumper, and free throws kept the Lakers ahead. In the semifinals, they defeated the SuperSonics 4-0, part of an 11-game playoff winning run. The Boston Celtics vs. the New Jersey Nets, 26-point comeback, 2002. In 2002, the Boston Celtics overcame a 26-point deficit. It was the biggest fourth-quarter NBA comeback at the time. The Nets had outscored the Celtics in the first 3 quarters, but were behind 74-53 entering the fourth. The Celtics beat the Nets 41-16. Paul Pierce missed 12 of 14 shots earlier. After 12 minutes, he scored 19 of his 28 points. Walker scored 23. The Celtics celebrated as though they'd won Game 7. The Nets won the next 3 games to win 4-2. Golden State vs. Toronto. The Golden State Warriors made history in the National Basketball Association with their incredible comeback against the Toronto Raptors, 75-48, with 20 minutes left to play in the game. However, the brothers were required to work here to make a splash. The final result was 103-102. What a remarkable turnaround. 26-point Atlanta Hawks comeback versus the Philadelphia 76ers. 2021. The Atlanta Hawks' 26-point comeback against the Sixers in 2021 is incredible. Before the Hawks took control, the Sixers enjoyed a 26-point advantage. Trae Young scored 25 points and dished out 6 assists in the second half as the Hawks scored 69. The number 2 ranked Sixers committed 10 turnovers, missed 8 free throws, and shot 38% in the second half. Lou Williams, Rivers' previous bench standout, scored 15 points in 23 minutes. The Hawks won 4-3 and advanced to the conference finals, where they lost 4-2. And finally, a 26-point Memphis Grizzlies comeback versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, 2022. The Memphis Grizzlies tied for the 4th greatest NBA comeback victory in April 2022. With a 1-1 series split, it was time for Game 3. Minnesota led by 26 in the second quarter. The Grizzlies trimmed the deficit to 7 points in the third, but the T-Wolves rallied back to lead 73-50. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies then never looked back. Minnesota gave up 21-0. Ja Morant recorded his first postseason triple-double in Grizzlies history as they ended up winning 104-95. Awesome.